DIY.
DIYers. DIYers, I say. It's not every day that we joined by a legend. You're probably going to hear that a whole lot during this interview. I got DJ Carisma in the building right now. First and foremost,
hey, let's go.
First and foremost, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Beautiful day in California, out here in the West, where we from.
Come on now. Come on. I know a lot of folks jealous of this weather. I know they get jealous of this weather. The stuff we complain about, I find myself complaining about 70-degree weather more than my East Coast friends want to hear me do, but we got to do that anyways.
Oh, yeah.
With that said, if you don't know, my guest today is a certified legend in the West Coast hip-hop scene. When we talk about people who really move the needle for the culture, DJ Carisma's name is in bold. From radio royalty to industry powerhouse, she's helped break some of the biggest names from the coast while staying true to the streets, the sound, and the people. Today, we talk about her journey, her influence, the future of West Coast hip-hop, and a few stories you've probably never heard before. Now, this is what ChatGPT had to say about you. You curious to see what they said?
Oh, wow, ChatGPT. What did it have to say?
Well, it said, Carisma is a legendary West Coast DJ, tastemaker, and music executive whose fingerprints are all over the rise of West Coast hip-hop artists like Ty Dolla $ign, YG, RJ on Power 106. She's not only a gatekeeper, but a culture builder. As a DJ, she's toured with major artists, helped shape LA radio, and continues to champion new talent. Her resume is stacked, and her impact is still growing.
Hey.
That seemed like it's on point to me.
Let's go.
How would you describe in your own words? Who is DJ Carisma?
I mean, I'm just a girl from Cali that really love hip hop. I came up in the era where radio was everything to us. So like being on radio was a dream of mine. I did it, and I just want to keep going. There's so much to still do. I feel blessed to still be here, and the only thing I would take out of that ChatGPT is a gatekeeper, because I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm a gate opener. I'm a gate opener over here. Come on.
Sometimes ChatGPT gives me a lob so that you can correct and I can push that button. I'm not mad at that. Look, this is my introduction to you. I'm not even sure if you're familiar with this, because you have always stayed in motion since I first was introduced to your name. When I was just a young flat top having artist, it wasn't that long ago. When I was a flat top having artist, and I was just out here, I was being managed by shout out to my guy Salas. And at the time, I was running these streets too with DJ Head. I remember going to events in LA, and DJ Head was like, "Go over there and introduce yourself to DJ Carisma. Probably gonna be one of the most important decisions you make." And I'm like, at the time, I'm learning networking, and I'm nervous, and I'm like, "She don't know who the hell I am." And so I go, I say, How you doing, DJ Carisma? My name is Curtis King. And you were like, cool. You were like, oh, pleasure to meet you. I'm in the middle of doing what I'm doing, but I get at you. I don't know if they forgot, but I saw you at a second event, and they were like, and the Salas was like, go introduce yourself. I said, I already introduced. They said, she probably forgot. Go introduce again. And the look on your face when I said, what's going on, Carisma? My name is Curtis. You're like, I don't see people with flat tops all the time. I know it's who you are. The fact that you remember me in that moment, I always hold that near and dear, but it just showed, because of the folks that I've mentioned, how important and how much of a staple you are and have been and continue to be, especially out here on the West Coast. Let me ask you the first question. What was your very first introduction to DJing, and what made you fall in love with it?
Ooh, man, like I said, I came from like the early radio days when DJing, watching MTV music videos, all that, like seeing DJs on there, and just, man, I want to do that. That I loved music. I was obsessed with it, honestly. Like, it was just everything to me. And I started like putting together mixtapes for high school for basketball games, and just that began my programming mind. And I was like, man, I need to take this to the next level. So I went, saved up some money, bought a pair of Technique 1200s, went to the swap meet, bought a couple crates of records, you know what I mean? And it just started out DJing in church, doing all the youth events. Yeah, and then that led to house parties, weddings, you name it, I've done it. DJ'd on trash cans. I've done I've done it all.
Sheesh. So when you say that in high school you were the one that had the mixtapes, you mean you were like you were the CD yard dealer that I used to go to? They used to give me all the songs that
Oh
I couldn't get
yeah.
access to. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the little factory in the garage, man. That's when we learned how to burn CDs, all that, like
Um,
use Napster, like
come on,
all that.
come
Oh,
on.
I
Yeah,
was making all my friends mixtapes. Yep,
I wish I
100%.
had more of an entrepreneur mind back then because I for sure could have made a little bit more than lunch money. I remember I had a buddy of mine that was the go-to person. Every time I go to him, he was like, "What you want? What you need?" I'm like, "This feels familiar, but it shouldn't feel familiar." And he was like, I got that 50 cent. It's 2003, 2002. I got that 50 cent.
Woo!
I got that mixtape if you need that. And I'm like, yeah, I need that. I need that. Look around. But it's hilarious thinking about to that time because so much has happened. But I want you to take us back to the moment you realize that, through doing quinceañeras, through doing, that you said on top of the trash cans and at church functions. When did you know this was more than just a hobby, that you were going to make a career out of it?
I just kept at it. I don't know what it was. It was like this burning passion in me just was like, do it. I had 3 regular jobs at the same time. And I worked at like Home Depot, Ralph's, and in insurance. And on the weekends, nights, I was just so energetic. I really, I was go, go, go. So like I was
Yeah.
able to use my time wisely and just really went for it. I'd even be at the mall with the backpack selling CDs out the backpack to whoever would buy them. And yeah, I just knew it. And I just kept going. I thank God he gave me that burning passion for it because I know so many people with talent, but they don't have the drive.
Talk about it,
Yeah, so that drive.
especially now. You tell somebody to get outside and promote their music or get outside and to promote their brand. If it's not a small business, even some small businesses too, which is unfortunate to hear, they're like, have you not heard of the internet? And it's like,
Yeah.
these things go hand in hand. Can you kind of talk to the importance of actually, building that rapport and being out there and people remembering you being out there?
Yeah, it's called shaking hands and kissing babies, man. Like that's why for me personally in my career, that's like what really worked. Because I was early onto the whole internets, the MySpace days and all that. So I did that, but you still got to be outside. You still got to meet people, shake hands, because like you said, those interactions can leave a lasting mark on people forever and they become a fan and they tell their friends and they tell their friends. And networking is 50% of this business, like 50% talent, 50% networking. You got to know how to have that charisma and just talk to
Come on.
people and sell yourself. Even
Right.
no matter what you are, you're selling yourself, you're selling your products, your brands, all that. So you got to learn to get outside once in a while, kids.
Come on. I mean, it sounds so, it shouldn't sound like, we shouldn't sound like dinosaurs saying that, but it's like, damn it. Some people have been so used to not getting out there that the idea is terrifying. And I always wonder, especially with my fellow artists, because, majority of my audience are independent artists and producers. And when I tell them, I said, they talk about their issues in building a fan base. I said, when's the last human being that you've talked to about your music that wasn't online?
Mm.
And it's crickets. And I'm like, there are so many relationships, the most important relationships that never would have occurred, never would have happened had I not been out there and faced somebody face to face and went through the embarrassing moments, introducing myself twice to some
Yep.
people out here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even though it wasn't necessary, but introducing myself twice because there's a rapport, and then also too, you'd be surprised how many people remember you when you have sort of a memorable look or brand. But for those who have heard that term 1,000,001 times, how would you kind of define like what is networking in your book? Because I'm getting ready to ask you about your first break in radio, but what did networking look like for you, and how do you kind of define that?
Just getting out, introducing myself to anybody and everybody. Like even when I started working at the radio station, anytime an artist came in, I never like jumped to ask for a picture. It was always, hey, what's up? I'm Carisma, DJ Carisma. Like the first thing I would do is always introduce myself, and it worked. Like that's how they all like connected with me. And networking is huge. And just also being outside, like a lot of these records wouldn't have got broken if I didn't see that live reaction of a live crowd,
Mm.
So like just being in the mix, networking constantly. I know we all want to sit at home and play video games, but you got to just put in that work and get outside and you meet people, you see different things, you experience different things. And that's how you could say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, before I get to your first big break, I do want to know, what's the origin story on your name?
Carisma.
I mean, it's pretty damn obvious, but I mean, I always feel like when it's that obvious, there's always another story to it.
Oh, it's actually funny. I was a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the
Wait,
TV
what?
show.
What?
Yeah, Buffy. Remember Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Do I remember? My
I
sister is
was a
still mad. My sister's still mad because I recorded over her VHS
yes.
of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Do I know that in Charmed? Yeah, I know about all of those because of her. But continue.
Yeah, so in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the popular girl. Remember the popular girl in there? Her real name is Carisma Carpenter. And I was like, whoa, that's such a dope name. And my real name is Kathleen. So I was like, man, what's my DJ name? I really like Charisma. That's dope. So then I got the dictionary. I looked up the definition and it was just like one of those moments like, oh, and I was like, that's your name, DJ Charisma. Just drop the H and make it look more round and cute. And there it is, DJ Charisma.
Yeah, you carry the name a whole lot better than that the popular girl in the show, from what I remember. It wasn't like I was watching. I was copying over tapes because I was being a mean older brother. With that said, what was your first break in radio, and how did that opportunity come about?
Man, shout out to Ria Bia and Junior Moreno. I applied for Street Team, and I met the two of them through a mutual friend, and they loved me and they hired me, and that was it. Once they let me in those doors, it was over.
Yeah. You know, your name to a lot of us, especially my introduction, is synonymous with Power 106, which is, of course, a humongous staple out here and has been so for many, many years. What do you think was your most impactful moment during your time there?
All of it. All of it. It never stops too. You got to always prove yourself. So you got to keep it coming, keep it coming. But the most defining moment was because I had already become a big name in the streets through the street team, just doing all the high school stuff, staying connected with the kids. That was like my key to success versus all the other guys. And the first time I really got my big break was I was like, yo, to my boss, I was like, you need to hear this song called You're a Jerk. Can I let them perform at one of the high school basketball games? And so we were at Westminster High School in Orange County that day, and he gave them the chance to perform. And when they came out and that song just started, when the bass just kicked in, You're a Jerk, the whole gymnasium swarmed the gym floor and started doing the reject and jerking.
Right.
And my boss just turns and looks at me, and I'm like,
come on,
and
I
that's
told you.
yeah, and that was how I got my spot on air as an on-air mixer. That's how I got my chance.
Yeah.
And then from there, I just never looked back.
What was it about the record that you just knew this was something that you had to go discuss with the higher ups?
I feel like I have a good knack at I have a good ear, and I have a good knack at realizing this is what the kids want. If I'm DJing in Silmar, then I go down to San Diego and the IE and everywhere in between, and these kids are requesting this song, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna pay attention to what they're saying. So I'm really good at seeing like waves and things, movements coming. I'm good at noticing that. So that's been one of my keys to breaking records for sure.
Are you ever surprised so many people think that they embody that skill set, specifically artists that come to you and try to convince you, I have it, I'm telling you, I got that thing, and you like, when
I listen to the people, I'm a people listener, you know, so I really listen to the people, and I've had a billion artists come say that to me, but it's like, you got to understand it's a whole lot to this. So if the people don't want it, like we gotta look at this differently and move differently to get you to that. Because it's all about what the people want.
Every successful DJ that I've known, I look at y'all as like algorithms in motion, right? Y'all have all of these different formulas and things that you're computing, even if you don't see them as formulas. The way that I hear, for instance, when I had conversations with Ed, and the way he would talk about BPMs, and I was a younger artist, like, okay, you say 90 and up, it's 90 and up then. Okay. But I'm not recognizing, sort of the ability to pick up and be like, oh, you got something there. And I'm like, what did you hear that I didn't hear? But obviously that you've had a consistent history in being able to break artists like Ty Dolla $ign, RJ, and YG. Can you share the story behind one of those early cosigns and kind of the same mode of thinking and what you saw?
Well, shoot, with it all started with YG first. I actually met him at the New Boys Benjay. It was his 19th birthday, and YG came to the birthday party, and I was DJing, and that's when I first met him. And he was just so wild and infectious, his personality. And he had just dropped Tooted and Booted, and the streets were going crazy. Like, I got to play it that night and see it was a packed party, all 19 and 18-year-olds. And when I played Tooted and Booted, they went insane. And that's how I was like, oh, we got another one. So that was the second big record that I took to the radio station after You're a Jerk. And I was like, this right here is the next one right here. And I just linked up with them, got to know the whole team, got to know Mustard, got to know Ty, and I just fell in love with them in the movement, the Pusha Zinc movement at the time. Yeah. And I got behind them. I knew that I actually had my foot in the door, so it was up to me, because the rest of the radio at that time was playing like LMFAO, like real pop music, like a lot of pop music, up tempo, super Vegas style. So I was like, I'm the only one here that gets what the kids in California want to hear. So I knew I had to take it up there. Tooted and Booted was definitely next. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even know I had met Mustard before, but he was a little boy. His uncle used to have a record pool at World on Wheels. And every like Saturday we'd go up there and we'd get vinyl as DJs. We'd get the doubles, and Mustard was his nephew, and he'd be the one setting up all the DJ equipment, but he was really young. What? I found that out later that was Mustard. Like, wow. And so he's come a long way.
He remembered at that time meeting you and the influence and whatnot that you had at that point on him.
Yeah, definitely. So that's crazy. He's come a long way. I'm just so proud of all three of them. And the industry goes in movements. Like the West Coast, we had it at that time. That's when it first started. Yeah. So we had that wave, and they were all a part of it, and I was a part of it too. So I'm blessed to be a part of that movement. That's why we need a documentary. Come on. We get a lot of NWA documentaries out here for the West Coast, but we need like a more current, that whole jerking hyphy movement. Like we need some docs.
Look, they even had me out here in foxtails. I had me out here with a foxtail. I had a foxtail.
Skinny jeans? You wear the skinny jeans?
Why you got to put my business out there? Like, why you got to put my business out there? These folks are not supposed to know that I went through a skinny jean era, even though I'm like, I was too big for some skinny jeans, but I found a way to make it work. Anyways, I had that in my foxtail. It was fun times because, at least at that point in time, the music was fun. It still felt like home. There was a lot of kids that I felt like kind of like channeled that energy that could have been elsewhere in some negative places. They were able to channel that through the music. And it was like, seeing all of the battling and seeing the videos that went up and how they went up on YouTube. It was so dope to see, some of the dances that were authentically LA go across the globe in terms of their reach with some of these videos. It's a special time. And something I've always loved in terms of what you do is that you're always proactive no matter where you're at. One of those proactive movements that you've had is Young California. Can you kind of speak to what was your goal with that platform?
The reason it all started is because we felt like there was a big gap between LA and the Bay. So we wanted to bridge that gap, because we had the Tooted and Booted, we had the jerky movement. They went from the hyphy movement into the HBK movement, I Am Sue and all that. So and we needed that support. So we specifically, me and DJ Amen from KMEL up in the Bay, linked up and we started it. And then we went around and found a radio DJ in every market in California, all the way down from Bakersfield to San Diego. And we just became a squad, and we helped each other break records from each other's regions. Mm-hmm. And that's really how Young California started. And did it take off. Like, I couldn't believe how it took off. Like, there was people who made Young Tokyo, Young Japan, Young, it went crazy. It was dope.
No surprise either, because I remember hearing more about it before I knew what the hell it was. It was just everywhere. The conversation of it was everywhere. Even seeing branding of it was everywhere in the city. But
we threw a lot of parties, a lot of events for artists and DJs to come all meet each other, like you were saying earlier, and we were just active.
But I know my peers. I know my peers so well. Even with you going the extra mile, because you didn't have to do that, but you did take the initiative to bridge that gap. What do you think that artists don't understand in terms of how hard it is to break new music on the radio?
Ooh, it's hard. It should be like the last goal, you know what I mean? Because it is that hard. You're literally looking at a playlist of 30 songs. You're competing with the biggest of the biggest stars like the Chris's and the Drakes and the Kendricks. So it's tough. And we only get so many opportunities to prove it to them. Cause like there's been plenty of times where I really truly believed in an artist and I knew they had talent and I was able to play it once or twice or a couple of handful of times, but there was just no follow through. So it's like once you get that momentum, artist, you got to go hard. You can't just chill and wait for things to happen. It doesn't work that way.
How do you kind of specifically line that up? Like, what does it look like to you when an artist is taking full advantage of that window?
The last artist that I helped break on radio was Soak City 310 Baby. I was the first person. I called him. I was like, make a clean version of this ASAP. Took it on the radio, played it, and once I did that, he and his manager did an incredible job. They just started. They got out of California. They started going to Atlanta and this and that, and it ended up becoming the song of the NFL for that season. And he rolled with it and went hard. He hasn't stopped since. And he always shows love. He always comes back to the DJs, makes us dub plates, makes us drops. Like all that stuff still goes a long way, you know.
Can you please talk about? Please talk about that. I want you to go in as much excruciating detail as you like, because how many times do I get artists, especially when I do music critiques, who are like, I got a hit song. Okay, I say it's a hit song. It's a hit song, Curtis. You never heard nothing like this. Okay, where's your DJ mix? You said my what? Where's your acapella? Where's your instrumental? Where's your 8-bar intro?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, and the only reason I know that is because Head used to get on my head about get these things together. I even had a DJ homie, shout out my guy, Disco, Kid Disco. Like he would tell me, he'd be like, look, you do this, I can put these in these DJ pools and I can get you circulated in places you've never even stepped foot into. Can you speak about the importance of that? Even now where, there's some artists who have kind of said, I don't think I have a pursuit or a necessity to pursue radio. Could you just talk about the necessity? And maybe this is a bigger conversation about the necessity of DJs still in this time. Can you talk about why artists need a damn DJ mix?
Man, the most important thing I think they lack and don't understand is a clean version. If I'm a huge fan of the song and I hit you multiple times and say, hey, I really need a clean, this one's going to be very hard to clean without an instrumental, without the original session. Because there's some songs that are like that. It's so difficult to clean it right. It just comes out on radio sounding sloppy, Right. So that's the main thing. Like, if I don't have a clean version, how on earth do you expect me to play it on radio? Like, let me ask you that. How do you expect me to play your song on radio if you're not giving me a clean version?
I'm gonna be them. I'm gonna be the lazy artist. All right, so DJ Carisma, what you gotta check out is that Serato got an AI situation where you can like isolate the vocals. You just can't do that. Like,
it's too risky. I don't got time for that. It's too risky. Just look at artists. The day you make it and you're with your engineer right there at the same time, once the song's done, real quick, make a clean version. Real quick, done deal. Come on.
I have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Come on.
First of all, I hope y'all understand how much you're dealing with a professional. Like, usually, we were talking about this before the interview. I was like, usually don't see Carisma on this side of things. She's usually handling like some of the biggest interviews with the biggest artists in the game. But I can tell how like how much you've been in tune to this, because the answers you're giving, I gotta like keep delivering questions. I'm like, oh, you just gonna cook very cleanly and just keep cooking. And I'm here, but you're so damn right. It's so many artists. I'm like, at the least bit, get the clean version. You're already in the studio. You're harassing your engineer about getting a rough draft. Why don't you just go on and just let me ask you this. It's a very specific question about clean mixes. Would you rather that an artist mute it, reverse it? Oh, please don't add that big ass beep to it.
Oh gosh. As long as it sounds clean, reversing it, chopping it. Some artists still, like in the 90s, they did a lot of word changing, like Pac and Corrupt. They used to literally change the whole word. And I mean, if you could do that, that's even crazy. That just shows you your level as an artist is even higher. Right. That's like the highest, if you ask me. But But yeah, just a clean, it's not as long as it don't sound like a cut. I absolutely hate when the music and everything cuts out.
Mhm.
That's like really bad. Don't do that, artist. Just make it more clean, reverse it. Just have the engineer take it out, but the instrumental's still in there. So that's the main. But you got to think, this ain't just radio. Like when we DJ massive grad nights at Disneyland, like you have to have
Mhm.
clean music. If you're doing stuff for high schools, if you want to get into the Fenty store, if you want to get into Shoe Palace, like all those are clean mixes as well. So, and all that, you need all that. You guys need all that. You just don't
Come on.
need to be on YouTube. You want to, when the everyday person walks into a store, your songs are playing,
Yeah, I think a lot of artists underestimate the many places that music is being consumed and
everywhere.
the many opportunities you have. Like everywhere you go, especially you talk about a mall, you talk about anywhere that you go, where there's where there's sneakers, where there's shoes, anything, for
Anything.
sure music is going to be consumed. And I've seen some of the distributors that provide that, and you recognize like, damn, there's so many opportunities for it to work out. I got to tell you, it warms my heart to hear, you're talking about the biggest artist in radio right now, and you mentioned a Kendrick. And I'm like, that's so crazy. It's not a no-brainer to us, but we've seen this already kind of. But there was a point in time where I remember hearing some of the conversation of DJs is like, he doesn't have these certain types of songs that could get played here and there. But lo and behold, 2025 is a much different offering from Kendrick and artists such as that. What do you think of the current state right now, or at least the trajectory of West Coast hip hop in your eyes? Where do you think we're at right now?
Oh, I love it, man. What he did for us was great. We needed it because I've been having these conversations behind closed doors, like, fuck, we need to get our momentum back. Like something's got to change, something's got to happen. So when he did that, it's just, man, it gave all of us new life. And I love it right now. I love getting to play him and not Drake on the radio. Like I've been in radio for about 15 years, y'all, and I've been forced to play a whole lot of Drake.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was
And
a time yeah.
I'm always rooting for my home team first. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so for me, all these years, it's been like, so to have Kendrick making West Coast slaps,
Come on.
that's a beautiful thing because he really never did that. Humble
Mm.
was not like that. Was a 75 low tempo, huge hit record, but it wasn't what we consider ratchet party sound that we like in the clubs. That
Right.
sound that we like in the functions. So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
great that Kendrick got on this tip for this project.
And then brought so many younger artists, emerging artists from the city, and
Oh,
allowed
that
them
was
to
huge
like,
of him to do. Huge
you know
of
what I
him.
mean?
I'm so glad he did that.
He allowed them to just be them. I think it was interesting how he did on Mr. Morale with Kodak Black. He had Kodak Black rapping over stuff you would never hear Kodak Black in his own solo, catalog rapping over. In this, it seemed like he went into, AZ Chike. He went into Peso's world. Like he made sure he created these soundscapes that were like, they're seamless. They go right there.
He's a genius. He is a genius.
Dope the way it was executed. I remember a time though where it wasn't nobody out here regionally that said this. When I would go to other places, like Merge took us on tour, and I remember hearing some of the conversations about West Coast music being too regional, and I just never understood. Like I understood what they meant, but now we're in a time where people, it seemed like all over, are having identity crisis because they're seeing the success of West Coast right now, and they're like, what do we sound like? Everything became so homogenous. What do you kind of feel about the direction of maybe even the possibility of regional sounds coming back into the game?
I hate that. I hate that it's like that, the regional thing. Because even me as a LA DJ, like I'm always down to see who's the hottest in Atlanta, who's the hottest in New York, Detroit. And I play them just as much as I play the West Coast. So I hate that. But yeah, no, like the regional sound is a thing.
Yeah.
Like we do go to Atlanta and I'll kicking it with my DJ homies and they ain't playing none of our stuff. So it's frustrating.
Too regional is what they said. Let me clarify. Too regional is what they said. And it was like when I had look Carisma. I had a beat battle one time. My first beat battle. You know what they told me? Why I lost? They said my beat sound too piano-y.
Oh wow.
And I just remember the next 7 days just thinking to myself, what does piano-y even mean?
What does that mean? Come
Like, is it
on, man. If it
that?
slaps, it slaps. If
It
it makes
slap,
you
it slap.
feel good, it makes you feel good. That's what was so beautiful about like the Squabble Up and the Not Like Us,
Come
because
on.
he has that big of an influence that it hit everywhere across the world. And to like, come on, and we got plenty of songs just like this. Yeah,
Mhm.
this kid he put on here, AZ Chike, he been the guy out here in LA. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So like y'all are late. Like y'all
Come
are
on.
so late. Like, but like check it out. Go back, check out their back catalog, and I guarantee you they'll have you in your living room like feeling good,
Come on.
giving you them vibes.
Speaking of which, after we off here, I gotta send you my Squabble Up remix featuring
Oh,
MC Breed. I got to Squabble Up. I'm telling you. I hate to be
hey,
one
shout
of
out
the
to MC
producers.
Breed, man. That's what's up.
Rest in peace. Yeah, I hate to be one of those rapper / producers. Like, I'm telling you, I got no. Punch even showed the love. He was like, "Yo, this is hard, Curtis." I was like, "Man, I appreciate that, Punch."
Send it over.
Um,
You never know.
come on,
Shoot
come
your
on.
shot.
Look. You need a clean version. I'll get the clean version after
Always.
this. What?
Always.
Okay. Do you think LA artists? It's kind of a switch up. Do you think LA artists are doing enough? Or even like some of the new platforms that have popped up too. Like, do you think that we're doing enough to support each other?
I think it's getting there. It's getting a lot better. I'm seeing a lot more unity. I mean, the podcast world is crazy. Your peers be beefing, but but everybody comes back around and like,
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you.
no,
What you
that's
mean?
why I love your show, because it's so pure. Like, I just
Mhm.
want to hear good hip hop conversation. Like, that's
Yeah.
why I come to Curtis King, because it's like I'm gonna get that real,
Yeah.
you know. But
How did you even
I've
come
always,
across my channel? By the way, I never even asked you. How the hell did you even find my channel, Carisma? I didn't know you even knew what was going on over here. I ain't even
I
gonna
mean,
lie.
all I watch is YouTube. I have a 13-year-old, so you know that all we watch is
Mhm.
YouTube. I don't even watch regular TV.
Same.
Like, I never even watched TV in the past because I work so much, you know. So, but now ever since COVID, like I watch YouTube. That's it. And you got recommended to me, and I just been a fan ever since. And I'm like, man.
But back to the. I appreciate you, by the way. So, but back to the support. So you said we're heading in that right direction. And what else was going on?
It's just definitely we got to keep the momentum going, like guys. And the first thing I always say is get out of here. Like, once you got us locked down and you got a hit song, get out of here. Sorry. Shout out to my boy EKE. Another song that we just currently helped break and got in heavy rotation radios, Ghetto. It's by EKE and True Car. And he actually just got signed by Quality Control. He's the first West Coast artist to ever get signed by QC. So like plays like that, just sometimes think different. A lot of these West Coast managers don't know what they're doing. Every part of your team counts. Like you know what I mean? Every single piece counts.
Right.
And don't be scared to get out there, because I've actually toured with artists who would not get on planes and they just wouldn't go. And they had massive opportunities like doing festivals in Texas, New York, and they missed those. And I saw it take a huge hit to their career.
Yeah.
Like, so get out of here. Once you get hometown going, get out of here.
I hear
Go pop
stories
up
like
on all the DJs in every market.
I hear stories like that, and I'm like, do you love this or no?
It's
Like,
crazy.
I know life can get in there and change the trajectory and change everything that you're focused on momentarily. But like when you love this, it's not an inconvenience to figure it out, right? Somehow,
I think you got to understand that you need to not only love being an artist and making music, because that's just one thing, but
right.
to be a star is a whole nother thing that you got to be prepared and ready for. And you got to be ready for it. And the stars only aligned for so many people. That's just the way it works. You know, to become a Rihanna, a Chris, like the stars aligned in a crazy way. And you got to be ready for that. And a lot of cats aren't. They are not ready.
While we're on that, I do have a few more questions about just West Coast artists in general and where we're at. But what is a quality that maybe you've kind of given thought to? Because like I said, you've interviewed some of the most elite performers in the music industry, some of the elite minds and artists and singers and producers and rappers. What are some common things or themes that you may pick up on? And because you have a very intimate it's a very intimate situation. It's not like you're just meeting people and shaking hands. Like you're asking them questions about their process, about their lifestyle. What are some qualities that you picked up on from these high performers?
Uh Man, I feel like some of the greatest are some of the coolest. And then you meet some of these young rappers, and it's just like, man, they need to humble themselves or just understand that you're still in the baby stages of this. There's levels to this.
Mhm.
Uh, I've met like first time Mariah Carey ever walked up to me and she's like, oh my God, like she knew who I was. I was like, whoa. And she's just so nice and so cool. Usher, like all the real big legendary, the E40s, the Too Short, I can call them right now. You know what I mean? And hit them anytime for something. And a lot of these younger artists nowadays lack that. So
Mm.
like that's a huge thing you need to grow into, because there's no such thing as PR training no more. Like it's the wild wild west out here. Kids get a buzz and they think they all good and they got their uncle managing them. Like it's real. You got to get real serious and really focus in on it. But yeah, stay humble and just appreciate people that are a piece of your. We're all a piece of this. I'm just a small
Right.
piece, but you got to like cater to all those pieces, because those pieces are what helps you like take it to the next level. So definitely stay humble, because the greatest, some of the coolest people out here. I met Rihanna the other day at
Mhm.
Rolling Loud. It's my first time ever meeting her, just a
Sheesh.
couple weeks ago. Met Rihanna. I was like, Rihanna. And she looked at me and she goes, oh my God, your charisma. Like, and it was just like,
Oh,
wow.
word. Yeah, shout out to her.
And she
Yeah.
stopped, took the time to chop it up with me for like 10 minutes. And it was just like, wow, this is Rihanna. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? She
But
is
you are
a league
charisma.
of her own.
But
But
you are charisma, though.
well, thank you, but
I'm always,
she
yeah, come on.
recognized that, and they know, like the
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj's, the Chris Browns, they pay attention. They pay
Mm.
attention to all you guys now. They're like totally, they get it. They really get the business. This is
Yeah.
a business, you guys. So
And I don't mean,
you got to really get it.
come on. And I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to make sure that I give you your roses, because what I've seen you do for so many artists, I've never, you exist long enough, or even as long as you have in this business, and you can always meet somebody who's disgruntled and be like, oh, don't trust nothing that they say, because they did be. I've never heard one thing in all the circles. Everything that I've always heard is has been like people's facial expression changes when you bring up DJ Charisma. Like
Oh,
they'll be like, yeah, like it's always good energy. So this is why we got to take, especially artists that are listening right now, please understand where this information, the source this information is coming from, is very, very important. In this moment, with the eyes back on the West, post the Kendrick and Drake saga, what should new West Coast talent be doing to level up?
I mean, just take advantage and move smarter. Just move smarter. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's so important to have the right team around you that's going to get you those right next opportunities. After you do your part, you got to have a team you can count on to do their part. Super crucial.
Yeah.
Don't expect things to fall in your lap. And like I said, get out of here. If you get LA popping, get out of here, please. One of the best things YG ever did in his career was, after he had his whole Tooted and Booted run, he owned the clubs out here. It was over with. He
Mhm.
went out to Atlanta and he started rocking with Jeezy, and he made My Hitta, and that became his
Huge.
biggest record for that time. You know what I mean? And it even had Nicki and Wayne on the remix. But him going to Atlanta changed the trajectory of his career.
Yeah.
So get out of here. Get out of here, you guys, and go start building everywhere else.
How proud are you of YG, especially, as he's making headlines recently by, really continuing to evolve and even tell stories that you just don't typically hear from a
Yeah.
YG, at least, with the single and everything that's going on. How proud are you of him and how far he's taken it so far?
Oh God, I'm so proud of YG. Like I always bring him up as an example. Like I just said right now, get out of here. I always bring him up as an example when it comes to stage performance. Like him and his DJ Vision are some of the best West Coast performers. Like they know how to command a stage. I'm just so proud of him. I know his mama, his sister, his nieces. Like I'm just so happy to see his whole family in a better place. You know what I mean? And it's beautiful to see. I'm so proud of him. And for him, he's always been a crazy storyteller. Like
Sure.
go back and listen to all of YG's albums, mixtapes, the way he uses interludes and all that. He's always been such a great storyteller. And for him to be such a G and to actually come out and admit that, and from a
Yeah.
man's standpoint, like, go ahead, man. Go ahead, YG, because that's something that nobody talks about. So
Especially
I
when
salute
the
him.
lights are the brightest. Like when the lights are the brightest, he says, I'm gonna use this moment and I'm still gonna do my press run. It ain't like I'm gonna say this and then kind of be quiet. No, he's very vocal about it and having the conversations. And I think even the conversation of therapy is really interesting now that's being brought up, for those who are like, I never really saw that as an issue or never really saw that as something I need to work through because it was so normalized.
Especially for
So
boys. Yeah.
especially for boys, right? Last question I got in this section is which rising West Coast artists are you excited about right now?
Definitely my boy EKE. He's young and he's about to change the game. Have you heard Ghetto?
I think I heard
Ghetto.
it. Yeah.
The
I did.
Akon sample. So that's going crazy out here in the clubs right now. I think 310 Baby is gonna have a long career.
He's out of here.
I'm so proud of all his moves. There's a lot. I really want a female though, like Cali, like Northern Cali. They got Kamaya, Sweetie, but LA, Southern, we need a female. So that's the next thing I'm really looking for. Like, who's that chick, man? Who is she?
Yeah.
Because girls are winning in every other market right now.
Yeah. I mean, and there's a lot of artists that are emerging, but you're right. Like there's the one that comes out that's like top to bottom. We know that that's one of ours, almost in the same vein as how we talk about Kendrick. Someone said Doja Cat. Would you kind of consider that, I guess, the closest?
The closest for sure. She's from the Valley, but she's a pop star. She's different. She's in a league of her own. She is a pop star.
Yeah.
So we need a good hip hop chick. Like,
I know what you're talking about.
Like, but Doja Cat's so talented. She can rap, sing, do it all. Crazy. Like, she gets all her props for sure. But we need a good, we need it.
I know, and also too, but I also remember her too. She was out in Leimert Park. She was out there. Shout out to the homie Verbs. Like she would be out there at Chaos Network and get in the ciphers and all that. But at this point in time, no, you're right. Like the way that she's kind of reintroduced herself to the world is
massive. Yeah,
way out there. But yeah, we do need one of those. It's like, oh, that remind me of home right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to ask you, with radio evolving and podcasts becoming dominant, as you mentioned earlier, how has your relationship with media changed?
Well, me personally, like I'm cool because I'm more of a DJ, you know what I mean? So like I still focus on breaking records, but I saw this coming a long time ago.
Really?
When Big Boy first left, I was like, you know what they should do? You know what they need to do? You know what's about to happen? They should go see if Snoop Dogg wants a morning show. Because that's when Drink Champs had just kicked off. And I'm like, that's genius. There's no way a regular host can have those kind of conversations with other artists like other artists. And I knew it. I saw it coming. And then the Joe Budden came and it just, it completely changed. And I'm definitely someone, like I said, I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm a gate opener. So like, I'm really fighting behind the scenes to like get my higher ups to understand we got to change. Radio has to change. I've been trying to make this happen for years now. I was one of the ones who helped fight to get Brown Bag podcast as the morning show. And it worked. They actually let them just talk, hardly no music. And they're top 5 number 1 LA radio right now. So the next step was like, all right, let's keep this going. So that's when I was like, y'all need to hire Figmunity. Like these guys are insane. This is the culture. Like they're the first all black cast on radio on Power 106 in history.
Come on.
So like, and they're so tapped in but they got it. Like we need to merge with them. Like, let's be smarter. Like radio can't necessarily make a big boy anymore. Maybe they can, but it's just going to take a lot. Why don't we look at who's doing their thing on their own? Because they all would love this opportunity if you just ask and give it to them.
Right.
And it works. So now we got Figmunity on Power 106, and we're trying to like find that perfect balance of the podcast radio world. How can we merge the two?
And it's so dope to see it because at one point in time, I was a member of League of Stars, so I remember
League of Stars. Pun, baby.
I wasn't getting no records off because I couldn't make function beats. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was in the room. I remember seeing, you know,
Jay Nari was sick.
Jay Nari. I seen all
Woo.
of them working. Even the early days of before he became Jason Martin, seeing Problem in his element and seeing how much he was producing other artists in the moment, I was just like, I need to learn how to make function beats or something because I have no place in this room. I'm making these soul sample stuff because, you know, I did a lot of work with TDE, and that's kind of how I got my connection with him. I was helping Glasses make White Lightning 2. I was producing the majority of that. So, like, I remember seeing Pun in that environment. Then I remember seeing when he started managing AD, and then Juice took off. And I saw that. And I remember, you know, the manager I had at the time was like, you need to be studying the way that they're moving with this song Juice. And so to see them, you know, I just got to meet T-Rail recently, and just to see them and their ascension is so inspiring because I'm like, you know, seeing those voices be elevated on these platforms means something to a lot of people. So I salute you for having that foresight.
Yes. I hear the people's cries, and I'm trying to like be that one behind the scenes really to help make these changes happen. Because I guarantee once radio gets it, they're gonna be like, oh, we've been missing out.
But so you know what? To your point, and I understand what you mean when you say like you don't see yourself as a gatekeeper. You know, I'm of the belief that there's two sides of gatekeeping, and I think when I was coming up, gatekeeping was like you're keeping good people out the room so that you can keep your position. But I feel like there's another version of that where it's like you could easily get that to a TikTok star, right? Or suggested that over, you know, a Figminity world. But you said no. This is the pulse of the people. It's right here. They already got. You saw that, and I feel like that is another form of gatekeeping that we need, honestly, because you know if it was no necessity for it, we wouldn't have locks on our doors, right? Like I want to get something. So, but
all right.
You know what I'm saying? To that point,
you gotta let in the right thing. You gotta let in the right things.
Because there's folks who got the numbers, but don't necessarily, you know, have the culture.
Right, 100%.
If you were coming up today, DJ Carisma, would you build your brand as a DJ on YouTube, TikTok, or stay radio first?
If I was just fresh coming into the game, I'd be on Twitch because YouTube, y'all be blocking when we play music. But you know, even in my early days back in like the 2015s, I had a YouTube show called Fresh Out the Box and Carisma's Cookie Jar. And this was before you guys had chats. Hey, chat, like that didn't even exist yet. Literally all of our YouTube videos got deleted because of copyrights, but we used to do live mix shows. We would have the artists in there with us. And that's what really helped me blow up more than the radio. So like I understand this internet world, and I got it a long time ago. I saw what was happening. But yeah, those two shows alone, like I had Sierra, I had French Montana, the Migos, Ray Sherman pull up to my little spot. And this was back in 2015, before the No Jumpers, before anything. Unfortunately, we lost it all because it all got copywritten and taken down. But yeah.
I think they're recognizing the necessity. Even when I saw Apple Music has something that they're launching for DJs.
Yes, I saw that.
Right. What are kind of your thoughts on? I mean, they so damn late, but at least they made it to the party. What's your thoughts on seeing these platforms trying to make it to where it's an easier and smoother road for DJs to exist and do what they do best?
Because I think not everybody's a super music head like you think they are, to type that only want to have their own playlist. There's a lot of everyday regular people out here who they could care less. They just want to put on a station that runs and entertains them. You know what I mean? So I think Apple gets that now. See, like I said, with radio, we got to find out how to merge with them. And they're thinking they got to figure out how to merge to do, you know, more the traditional programming type of thing. So it's super crucial. And I think they're smart. And I think that's huge. Whoever gets on those shows, like Apple is on everyone's phone. So
come on.
But radio is still free. You know, everyone else, Spotify, you got to pay subscriptions to these people. Radio, we're always going to be free, no matter what. That's
funny because that's my next question. What do you think that radio still does better than any other medium?
We're free. You know what I mean? In the case of an emergency, in the case of a recession, just in lower income areas, like we see that like radio is still useful. So 100%. You don't got to pay $10.99 a month.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. It's right there. It's right there. Looking at
And
me.
for the artists, for your standpoint, Money Long talked about this recently on I think it was a Breakfast Club. But the money that artists can still make from royalties, which you get through radio, is a great check. So like when you're in heavy rotation and you're one of those artists that are getting spun every hour, your royalties are looking nice. So artists don't think that it's not a benefit for y'all at all. It's huge.
Right. You know, as somebody who's seen many different eras of this game, whether in front of the camera or behind the camera in terms of this industry, how would you say the game has changed for women behind the scenes?
How for women?
Women, yeah.
Oh, women. Oh, I mean, it's getting there. It's a slow process.
I love your honesty.
It's a slow process. We still working on it. I love being able to kick down doors. I love seeing how many female DJs and behind the scenes players there are nowadays. I think is great, but we still definitely got a long way to go, especially for things like equal pay and them listening to us. You know, it's like Nicki always said, when I say something, I'm a bitch, but if Jay-Z says it, he's a boss. Like, definitely got to deal with that on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So,
if you don't mind me asking, what kind of boundaries have you had to protect or enforce to stay grounded in such a male-dominated space?
oh, shoot. I mean, for me, it's just always like letting them know I'm all business. Like, anytime I come around it, it's straight to the point. Straight to the point. Like, I don't like small talking in any way. So it's like straight to the point. What are we doing? This, and this, and just putting my foot down and holding my ground. For a lot of you, the beautiful women out there, these guys are going to try you. So just always keep your integrity, because that's what's going to get you more respected and further in any industry that you're in. So it's definitely harder for the pretty girls out here for sure.
Yeah.
These guys be testing them on every level. Like,
and there you go, answer my next question before I even ask it. You good at this? You too good. I said, what advice would you give to a young woman trying to break into DJing or hip hop radio in 2025?
Do you fight for yourself? Stick up for yourself. Put that quality into it. They can't deny the quality. You know what I mean? If you really put out that good product, and people people a lot of say I'm the people's champ. Like the streets love me. Like the numbers show it. I go to the grocery store and on Carisma. Like if you put in that, they can't deny you. They'll try, ladies. But if you just really put in the quality, like you're gonna shine and just keep going.
Right. Well, I know you already said earlier. I want to get to at least one question about this. I know you said earlier you were like, "Look, I'm gonna always be home team first," but I got to get into a conversation about this Kendrick versus Drake situation. I'm not gonna get no messiness, no messy, because I know you got relationships with a lot of folks. Okay, but how did you view that from a zoomed out point of view? Especially, I remember covering a story that said that labels were going to deprioritize signing hip hop acts in place of more like world music and Afro beats and different things. Like it just seemed like hip hop and rap were heading in a different direction. And this thing happened. And I mean, damn it, you've seen it from a very different vantage point. What are kind of your zoomed out points of views now that we're almost a year since the first song dropped?
Crazy. I love it. I love that it happened. Because not only did Kendrick give the West Coast his juice back, I think he gave all real hip hop, real MCs, real lyricists. Like, because we've been lacking that for years, especially with the trap sound. Like it's all about ad libs and just melodics. So I feel like he gave the whole hip hop a revive. Like what? You know what I mean? Like he's out here rapping bars. Like we like it, Drake. Sorry, even us ladies. Like yes, we do love it. We love what Kendrick did, and it's such a vibe. So, I'm so happy that happened.
I can't tell you the amount of.
I ain't tripping.
I know, yeah.
Drake don't come holla at us like Kendrick does. So,
right,
you know what I mean. So, sorry, Drake.
I'm just being responsible because when people come up here and they say I'll do an interview with you, Curtis, and it's live, I didn't realize like how much power that is. And I'm very respectful, right? Because it's like, what if I say something? I can always cut it up, but what if I say something? So I'm very careful about these things as I'm moving forward. But I do want to talk about, really specifically the pop out moment, the pop out show, because seeing West Coast culture on such a stage like Amazon and seeing it being live streamed, it was almost like it was almost like when as a kid you saw something in a movie that was really, really funny and you couldn't wait to show your parents or show your sibling and be like, look, you see, this is what I was laughing at so hard. The same thing for me was like a sense of pride.
Oh, it was great.
I was like, y'all not just seeing the safe West Coast artists, you getting the full experience right now. The folks that's really in rotation, from folks who are residents out here, young and older artists, are more veteran artists. What do you think about, you know, that moment in terms of just the way it changed West Coast energy and just the pride that you had?
Well, that was a once in a lifetime moment. I was there. I was actually there. I was with my brother Dre Sinatra, and it was just, it felt like the family's back together. You know what I mean? It really felt like the family's back together. Everybody that was on stage, from my boy Vision to Wacko to all the different artists, like, and just everyone who was actually in the crowd. It was all of us. Like, it was different industry cats, like everything. It was such a dope moment, man. Oh, it was electrifying. I wish you could have been in there. It was electrifying. And salute Kendrick. Thank you so much. Cause yeah, we needed that so bad. It was beautiful.
Yeah. It is dope to see that the people that were saying, oh, the West Coast is too regional, or oh, that's a handicap. It ended up becoming the biggest superhuman strength, is that it's like, oh, y'all make something that make people miss home. I wish we had that here, or I wish that existed the way it did. Because there was a point in time where I remember coming home from high school and seeing Rap City the Basement, and I'd be able to take a peek into what was going on in New Orleans, a peek into Milwaukee, a peek into New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even that's
the energy DMX. And when I would listen to DMX and Nas as a little girl, like, wow, this is what New York feels like. You could just feel it through the music, and our music does the same thing. Yes, palm trees, sunny skies, like the vibe out here. Come on. We like the dance, like we like that type of music. Like, that's what it is for sure. And that moment was so crucial because, like, it was deeper than just other regions not rocking with us. You know, Nipsey was murdered. Draco the Ruler was murdered. So many guys. I've seen so many of these guys I built relationships go to jail and die. A lot of them over the past like 8 years. And it's just like, that hit us. Like, people don't understand. Like, it's like kind of like PTSD or whatever. Like, we was really going through it without even realizing it. So
you didn't even mention the pandemic on top of that. Like, I mean, everybody went through the pandemic, but when you started seeing like all the stories of folks that were out there and just like, you know, just folks getting robbed and things, different situations that were popping up that were kind of making even the mainstream news. Then Kobe is, you know, another name that it's just a time period that, you know, I didn't have to be in a city to feel the energy, right? Because I've lived in San Diego now for some time, but I knew it when I talked to some of my folks that still stay there. I knew it when I went to the city. I was like, the city needed some kind of a recharging moment, or a moment of peace, but then also a moment of like, hell yeah, like I'm prideful from where I'm from. So yeah, I appreciate you highlighting
unity. Like bringing back that young California movement. That energy that we had was all about, let's start working together again. Boys, y'all got to stop with this. Like, we know there's a lot of street politics in California, but like, it's not helping none of y'all. So it's like, we got it. Like, that was a real unifying moment that we needed so bad.
Right. Let me ask you this. I'm giving my Nardwar back. Who is someone you've never gotten a DJ for, but would drop everything to hit the stage with?
My girl Nikki or Rihanna, what's up? Like, let's go. Nikki for sure. That's my girl. She's always been so good to me. If she wanted me to DJ for her, she's probably the only artist I would say yes to. Because I get asked by a lot of the younger artists. I'm just like, nah, I can't. It's just not worth it. I've been on the tour bus. I've done all that with Honey Cocaine back in the days.
Oh wow.
So I DJ'd a little bit for Sweetie when she first started, and when she really took off, I was like, I can't. But yeah, definitely. If Nikki hits me right now, let's go. I'm out.
If Nikki hit me, I don't even DJ. I'm going out there to DJ. I'm gonna figure something out. I'm
gone. Let's go.
Uh, Another question in that section. When you're not working, what's something random that makes you happy that fans of yours wouldn't expect?
I just anything with my daughter, you know, being a mom, single mom, you know, think gotta she's half my life, so I gotta make sure I put in that time. But other than that, I like to play games, man. I'm a gamer. What's up?
What you a gamer? What you gaming? What you gaming with? What you gaming?
I like open world type games like Zelda. I just finally
Oh,
got on Assassin's Creed, so now I'm like running through all the Assassin's Creeds.
okay.
I'm gonna try GTA for the first time once it drops. Like I'm ready.
For $200. I just know that
Oh,
game's gonna
yeah.
be 250.
It's not worth it.
I know it is. I don't know that. You know the rumors is coming out. You just know because of the anticipation. They, especially because everything, eggs is $7,000 per
Sheesh.
each one, right? So I can only imagine what that's gonna look like, especially with the open world technology that they've been talking about. That's fire though. That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah, I love the game. So
what's next for DJ Carisma in this new era of music and discovery?
man, I'm just trying to be a boss. That's my next level. I want a boss seat somewhere, you know what I mean, where I could really, 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 really help put cats on. Feel like I've done it all when it comes to DJing. From the NFL, I've DJ'd the Rams, every sports team you could think of. I've won female DJ multiple times. I've been in so many music videos. I've done it all. So I really want a boss seat because I know I have a great ear and eye for talent. From artists to personalities, I'm really good at, hey, they got talent. Give them a shot. So, and programming, I know how to program my ass off. Like I could do it in my sleep.
Come on.
Definitely want that next level.
Funny enough, that leads me to my next question. If you had full control of your own hip hop show or radio station, what would that look like today?
Woo! We're getting there, Power. We're getting there slowly. We're getting there. There's a couple more talent I got my eyes on that I know that radio needs. Like, yeah, and I would completely try to break that mold of playing the same 5 songs every hour. I would show them that their system of rating is kind of outdated versus everything else. So let's just break the rules. Let's go. I'd be breaking so many artists and I wouldn't be scared. Oh, I only have to play Drake every hour. People are going to tune out. I'm breaking rules if I get in charge.
Y'all heard this record? And I got a clean version too. Hello. Let me go ahead and play this real quick.
Hey, and back to those cleans for all you guys. I DJ'd for the Rams last season, right? And I'd always have artists coming up to me, play my song. Oh, it has to be clean. So if you think it's just radio, nah, you want your song played at an NFL game, an NBA game, you better have a clean version, buddy.
They can't just cover their ears. No, they can't just cover their ears. What you mean?
Oh man, what? All bad. You need those cleans, y'all.
Well, DJ Carisma, you got Serato, right? And then if you push this button right here, no.
I got 30 seconds. I got 30 seconds of TV cameras on me. Help me out, guys. Help me.
You know what? And I should have asked this earlier, but now that we're back on the subject, format. I know every song calls for something different, right? I never want to talk to an artist and give them a formula because every situation calls for something different. But for somebody who is looking at this and saying, okay, I do want to make something that, works for these type of scenarios. Can you tell these folks about these long ass intros they be making, DJ Carisma? Can you talk a little bit about some of the things that they do to shoot themselves in the foot?
I mean, honestly, I think I'm the opposite of a lot of these DJs because it's like you can't say that because you don't know. We don't know. You could be dead ass wrong. You know how many people said, Blueface, you're crazy. This song Tatiana will never work, and he's rapping off beat. And like the kids like it though.
Yeah.
Trust me, you're gonna be late. Like, so from what I learned, you can't really tell people like do things a certain way. Don't follow your heart. If it works, it works. Whoever thought Dreams and Nightmares would become a absolute classic record where there's no hook, he's just rapping. So, man, I don't really like to do that to people to tell them, oh, that's not gonna work just because of the format. I don't believe that.
Okay.
Like, even like with the whole BPM talk, like, oh, you only got to do 100 BPM in LA, and like Kendrick has triple platinum records that are 75 BPM. Schoolboy Q, Hands on the Wheel. That is not a West Coast slap, but it is. Think of every Nipsey record almost. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't say that to people
I
because you
love
just
it.
never know. You just never know.
I love it. And because of Blueface, I'll rename Chat GPT as Chat GPTiana for me.
Chat Tiana, let's
Call
go.
it Chat
Free
GPTiana.
Blueface. Blueface, stop tatting yourself, man. I love you, boy.
Come on. Come on. Last question I got for you. And I really, really appreciate your time, appreciate your energy, and also just your honesty through all this, because it's a lot of folks I know that's inspired as well as myself by what you do. What do you want your legacy in hip hop to say about you?
Oh man, I just want to be known as that. I want the same, like, I want people to think the same when they think of Angie Martinez and what she means to New York. I want to just be that for California, not just LA, all of Cali. Like I go to the Bay and it's crazy love.
Yeah.
Help break a lot of their artists too. Same thing in San Diego. I just want to be known as I did my thing out here. Little old me. No tricks, no gimmicks, just pure like push the culture forward. I was a piece of this culture.
Hello. And you doing it and doing it so well. Look, we salute you. We salute you. I put up a tweet the other day. Now that you said Bay Area, what is it about the Bay Area artists?
Ooh, I love the Bay. They different. What?
Why do they sound like they always having 10 times more fun in a booth than anybody else?
Cause they do. Like DJing in a Bay Area party versus LA is different. Like the
How
Bay
so?
go crazy. The Bay will jump on chairs and start. They
Mhm.
just got that energy. My kid's father is from Oakland, Hayward. So like I've spent tons of time in the Bay. And
Right.
from the lingo to the sound, like they're innovators. They deserve all the credit.
Yeah.
So much slang that E40 and all of them have created that other regions have stole. Nah, they did that.
Yeah.
I love the Bay.
A lot of energy that they've inspired. I mean, all around the world, even though people want to make it sound, once again, they have the conversations about being too regional. And I'm like, how? When those sounds have found their ways even into pop songs. There's a song by remember the singer Lord? Remember the singer
Oh,
Lord?
yeah.
Royalty. She had another song on her project, and it literally had like the Tell Me When to Go.
That was
kicks.
probably Sage or Gemini that hooked her up with that.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I see it, I'm like, the influence is there. I went to go visit La Russell last year to go interview him and go see the pergola and everything. And I'm just like, the energy is just so different out there. And I would assume some of the politics too, like some of the street politics is a lot different too. Cause I'm like, I would love to see more, or at least a segment of more of that fun energy out here. Not saying it doesn't exist. I think a lot of the younger artists have found that, but seeing that, I'm like, I just feel like them folks in the Bay is my kindred spirits. Those are like
they're special, man. I love it. They're like roses that grew from concrete because it's a tough place. It's beautiful but tough all at the same time. And when you have places like that, that's when you get that. This is beautiful. Like everything they do naturally is so good. But advice to Bay artists, same thing to y'all. Get out of the Bay. Once you get the Bay popping, get out of there. Start going everywhere else. Think about Blow the Whistle. Think about Shake That Monkey. He teamed up with Atlanta and got with Lil Jon and made those records huge. You know what I mean? So get out of the Bay. Same thing. Once you get it going, get out.
And I know I already said it's my last question, but you've been echoing that, and I want to make sure that people understand why you're stressing the necessity to leave home. I could say this as someone who in the beginning age of my career was predominantly at home and just doing a bunch of shows, dive bars, and eventually I did paid dues, and that was a blessing. The opinions of my peers, the opinions of the professionals didn't change until I left home. It was almost like I can see you in a different light now because you don't fit into the mold of everybody else that probably won't go too far away from home. Could you kind of explain why you're stressing the importance of leaving home at some point?
Because that's the only way you're going to get to the next level. It is levels to this shit. And the only way you're going to get to the next level, you got to get out and put in the same work you put at home. That grassroots promotion, you got to go do that in each region. Like this is a business. It's not all you just get rich and you get to chill all day. Like this is a job. And if you want that big money and you want that big prize, you better be ready to work. Like Chris Brown and these cats work. They don't chill. Like they are working. So and that's part of the job. You got to get out here, go do that. Go spend a month or two. Go rent studios and start working with producers in Atlanta, in New York, in Detroit, like Houston.
Yeah.
So,
you want to make clean versions and leave home? I mean,
it's a job.
You would think it's a job or something.
That's why you good right here on YouTube. Y'all found a whole new way to make some bread and just be right at home chilling.
Figuring it out. But you know what? I tell you this. As much as I was championing, because I'm a DIYer and like I got a stage downstairs that I've been building. I'm very proud of us being able to sell tickets to a show online. But
dope.
It looked different when people see you in person and recognize like, oh, one, your comfortability is not just in front of a camera. And two, it's not just an act when the camera goes on, right? Like, so my guy, Justin Hunt, the company man, he'd be like, hey, Curtis, man, you got to come out to the city. You know, there's an event. Like there was a charity event that will.i.am was throwing at his space. And I came out there. And then when people see you in person, like I had no idea that Coast Contra even knew, about me or whatever the case may be. Until I sat there in front of him and he like, no, we watch your content and like, so it is so important to be out there in front of people.
People's attention spans are quick, and the more they see you, they remember you more often. You know what I mean? And the chance of when they have an opportunity, they're going to think of you first over somebody else because, I just saw so-and-so. They'd be perfect for this opportunity. So yeah, of course, I want to stay home and play video games. But guess what? After I take my daughter to school, then I go do radio, then I go do event, then I got to go to this dinner and go shake hands with this new artist that they want to introduce me to. Because you just never know. He might be the next, you got to get out.
We salute you because I feel like you've never gotten comfortable. Even when you look comfortable, you never have gotten comfortable. You've always
no such thing.
found a way to evolve. How can people connect with you and how, what should they be looking out for? Because I know you got the show right now that you've been circulating. How can they check you out and how can they connect with you?
I mean, the easiest way is just follow me on Instagram at DJ Carisma, at TikTok. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. Like I said, I'm on the radio every day. I got mixed shows. I'm on Sirius XM as well. I'm out and about DJing throughout the state. I'm throwing events. Like we do these events called Up Next, where we let new artists come in. We got like this TV studio, bringing that 106 and Park vibe back. I'm just trying to do it all. Whatever. You might see me more on streaming, like trying to put my people on, fighting for cats to get their dues, and it's a lot. So just follow me. I'm always got something going on. Always.
Come on. We salute you and we thank you so much for your time today. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen.
Curtis King, I love this channel.
Come on. Well, I'm honored. I'm still, regardless.
Well, I'm going to get you to LA. Now you got to come to Power 106. All right, we're going to do that. You're going to come. You're going to come kick it with me on a Saturday night. We're going to go live. You ready?
Wait.
The opportunities, you ready?
Hold on, the claps was a little bit too loud. I think I might have heard you say something. What you say again one more time?
I said, what's up? When are you going to come to Power 106 and be live with me on a Saturday night? Let's go. Come on. It's time.
You just let me know when. First of all, you let me know I'm there. I'm there.
He's got to make that 2-3 hour San Diego drive. But when you're ready, we can do it any Saturday night. Come on, doors are open.
I'll make that 6 hour drive if I got to make a 6 hour drive. I appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. You already know what it is. Definitely go. I have the information in the description to go check out everything that's going on with DJ Carisma. You continue to inspire us, and we're so grateful that we have you going to bat for all of us out here because we need you, especially in this time period now. DIYers, this interview will stay up. I'll get an opportunity to timestamp it here very soon. But I want to just say thank you, and I appreciate everybody who's coming here to show support and hit that like button.
Check out my iTunes as well too. I'm a female DJ Khaled out here. I got some slaps on there. So go over to iTunes, type in DJ Carisma. I got features with Chris Brown. I got stuff with YG. I got all kinds of stuff. Go enjoy the music if you're new to it.
There it is. Come on. All right, DIYers. I will get at y'all. We thank you again. Peace.
Thank you, bro.
DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Don't be greedy. Peace.